just a few percentage points away from all-time highs for the NASDAQ 100, for the S&P 500, and a massive inverse head and shoulders on the Russell 2000 stocks. We're going to take a look at those. I'll also give an update on the best penny stocks to buy now, and we'll see how they are moving in the pre-market hours this morning, if at all. And there is one of them that might be dropped from the list, and one of them that might continue to climb significantly higher from where it is right now, starting the movement yesterday. So we're going to dig into the technicals of each of those in this video. And if you guys want to see more of the technicals, see what I'm buying and selling based on what I tell you here, you guys can come on over to the Discord. Links in the description. I'll tell you more about that later. In the meantime, check this out. So what we're looking at right now is SPY, but I want to backtrack to QQQ. There we go. This is exactly the chart that I want to be looking at, because I mentioned yesterday in my video that we've broken up above this red resistance area here. As a matter of fact, I even have the pleasure of here on YouTube with you clicking on this rectangle, and we're going to turn it into a green border with a green fill. There we go, because now we officially have it as support for us. And just as troublesome as it was to break for resistance, it could be just as troublesome to break for the support. Now, there's a few things moving average wise that I want to talk about here. So we're going to hide that, and we're going to look at the EMAs. We're riding on top the 5 period, which is the green. That's a good thing. We find support at the yellow. That's the 13 period EMA. Also a good thing. We're above the 50. This is the exact stacking order that you want to see. Red, yellow, green for bullishness, with the candles sitting on top. RSI on a daily basis is also in the bullish territory, but not overbought. Same thing for weekly and monthly, bullish, but not overbought. Those are good things. Let's take down the EMAs and put up the SMAs for a moment. Some important things that we want to watch for. One thing is this 50 period, which is down here, this magenta color coming up on this orange-ish, yellowish dandelion. 200 period, simple moving average, that could lead to that golden cross scenario. And if I reset the view here and we take a look just to see how far back 50 periods goes, 50 closes, it goes all the way back to, that's 47, 50 right there is this candle that we have, which means that all of these values down here are part of that 50 period simple moving average. And as the days progress, we're going to start dropping some of these values right here in exchange for some of these values up here. That's going to continue to move the 50 period higher as long as the market doesn't drastically change direction anytime soon. And over the next here, let's count out the days for you. It's going to be like 2 to 3 weeks worth of trading days. So 50 days was back here. And until we start to wipe out, we'll say this is the lowest close that we have. That's 38 bars. That means over the next 11 or 12 days, we start to wipe out these, and then we start to exchange them for closing prices that are a little bit higher, so these values fall off in exchange for these values up here. And as we get rid of these low closes from back here for that exchange, that's going to be a significant boost to that 50 period. The 200 period is also going to benefit from it, but it's going to be weighted more heavily towards these near-term moving averages that we have, like the 50 period that's right here, leading to that golden cross scenario, which can be a very bullish signal for us. Now, mind you, there's up here, remember, was the biggest sell pressure that we had. These are the all-time highs that we're looking at back in December. And then once again in February, before we got that big sell, we want to be absolutely fearful of setting a triple top in here, which wouldn't be good for us at all. If we don't break the 540.01, which was right across here, the all-time high that you see with this dotted line coming across your screen, well, then we really got to be careful. We really have to watch out. There should be some sort of rejection that at least happens initially from that 540 level. Now, mind you, we also have resistance right around that 533 number, which is this little middle peak that we have over here. So at 540.01, watch for some sort of initial rejection. I don't think it's going to be a straight up journey, but we're not too far away percentage wise. And we have a lot of reason to believe that we could continue higher. We also have some reasons that we should absolutely watch for some difficulties, such as non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. Now, mind you, JOLTS came out better than expected. The market loved it, and we continued higher. And then we'll see for non-farm payrolls and unemployment. The more that we can push away from that recession narrative to say, hey, things are fine, we'll react once we start to see it hit the hard data like the Fed was talking about. When that does happen, that could probably be that downward pressure that we're looking for. So moving drastically upward from 4.2%. 4.3, the market, especially being up where it's at right now, the market's probably Not going to be too keen on it, but it should be a minor hiccup. If we jump right to 4.4 or higher, the more that we jump away from that 4.2 on this next read to the upside, the more the market's going to hate it. We'll probably sell back down significantly. Maybe we could go all the way back down to that 200-day. If instead we stay at 4.2 or drop even below that, the market's going to love it, saying, hey, we're still in really good shape. Even despite the tariffs, we're getting a lower unemployment rate, and then also non-farm payrolls being part of that. We want to watch for non-farm payrolls going strongly above. I think 130,000 was the last consensus that I looked at for that one. So based on that estimate, if we go farther north of that, closer we go to 200,000, the better, or even exceeding it. Going down in the 2-digit range is not going to be very healthy for us. So that would sort of be that downward pressure that we would look at, because it would add to more of a recessionary narrative, or saying that there's bigger impacts from the Trump tariffs, for example, which could be inflationary, not really great for us. And then that leads us into CPI and PPI for next week. But I will say, along tariffs, we have June 5th, tomorrow, being one of the dates that we have for submissions for the appeal. And then also on June 9th is the other date for those submissions for appeal. That can also be something to look at for factors that affect what we see, at least on around the periphery, if you will, for what could really tamp down the price action that we see happening in the stock market. Now, if the tariffs end up being thrown out, the appeal gets thrown out, well, the market's going to love it. We go higher, most likely. If instead the appeal is upheld, that can be something that might be somewhat downward pressure, we'll see, placed back on the markets to make it harder to break through those all-time highs. So I wanted to give some of that nuanced perspective before jumping back into the technicals that we have here. Guys, we're not far away at all. So if we go from, let me click on the ruler tool, we got it, magnets on, and go to close and go up to 540, almost got 541, 2.4% from yesterday's close. Today in the pre-market, we're up a little bit. If we go over to SPY, 611.39 is the number to reach for those all-time highs, and we're not very far away from that at all. We'll click on the ruler tool here, and I have pretty much the same commentary for SPY as I did for QQQ. 611.39-ish. I'm at 611.42 right now, 2.57% from yesterday's close. The number to beat was 596. We closed yesterday at 596.09. Good. In the pre-market hours this morning, up a little bit, up over 597. It looks like we have that green light up to about 600. And if I was to put some other minor lines on here for you, here's one that we want to be watchful for, which happens right around 605. And then we also have the previous all-time high before the previous one, and that also happens around 609. We had trouble beating that number. You could see that the last time that we got near it on January the 31st, that we sold down significantly. We rallied just above it, couldn't hold on to it though, and that's when we got that big sell in there. IWM with that massive head and shoulders pattern that we're looking at right here. Let me put the drawings up here. I said I would make them prettier for you. Here's the prettier drawing that we have for IWM for the Russell 2000 stocks. If we're able to break above the 210 and hold on to that, and the markets are also for S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, the small caps could also rally here. That 248.08 could be that price target that we reach. And guys, that's about a 20% climb from where we're at right now. I would absolutely love to see it. It's shy of 20%, I believe, but it's actually here. We'll slap the ruler on here. We'll go from yesterday's close, and we'll talk about what exactly that could be. So there we go. That's the closing price, 248. Let me make sure I got my cursor there. 248.02 is close enough. 18.65%. There you go. Close enough. I'm going to call it 20% because I think if we got 18.65% from where we're at right now, and this video helped inform you that that move could potentially happen, and then we find out that it happened, no, I don't think too many people complain. They would say, yeah, we got close to 20% on that one. Now 20% would absolutely be better. And now that also doesn't mean that we'll necessarily get there. Getting there also implies that we break the previous all-time high that we had on this from back on the 25th of November, when that was 243.71. So we'd be another 2%-ish up above that previous all-time high to get there. And with the small caps then, of course, we would have the other risk assets, which transitions nicely into the best penny stocks to buy now. I'm going to give some updates on those. It could also go on to other risk assets, such as the altcoins that we have. And certainly Bitcoin could be helped out there too. But if we're talking about outperformance of small caps and risk assets, then the altcoins would be the places where we maybe see the largest beneficiaries, which could do really good things for things like Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Sui would also be included in there. I'm going to do another video on crypto. I'm going to stick with stocks in this video. So let's put this back up here. And by the way, guys, I share all this over at the Discord, 50% off when you sign up for the earner tier over at the Discord. 50% off your first month's sign up using the code word doctor. Try it out for that month. I think you're going to find out that you end up staying because you're going to like exactly what you find over there between the bread bot, the panel experts that are over there, the AI tools, the advanced charting tools. And I'll tell you later about the coursework for trading options and also technical analysis and technical analysis trading is the bread recipe. Right now, BEEM. This one is threatening to drop itself off the list of the best penny stocks to buy now. If we don't hold this support today, if instead it falls down through this, we're down below the 50, the 13, and the 5. Looking pretty bearish. RSI failed to hold on to 50 as well. So this one is at the bottom of my list for the best penny stocks to buy now. I said, hold this support, please. And you can see it just ignored my request so far. If it can turn things around, if it can hold this support, I'll keep it on the list, although at the bottom of this list. PACB is really fighting to stay on top of this. So Pacific Biosciences, PACB is the ticker symbol on that one. And you can see back on Wednesday, May 28th, when it joined the list, we moved up strongly above the 5 and the 13, moved up again a little bit more on the 29th before closing down, but staying above the 5 and the 13. We still don't have the cross between the yellow and the green, which is the 5 and the 13. And I can show that to you. There we go. We'll take those down and you can see we are nearly crossing the 5 and the 13, but not quite. That's the first bullish signal that we're looking for. We want to pair it up with an RSI above 50. And right now, we just don't have it in the momentum. We're close, but we don't quite have it yet. So people said, is the PACB play dead? It's not even alive yet, but it is getting close to it. I did take a super risky position on this one, but there's additional risk put in. When you try to front run the market can have its own decision. So the thing is, when you try to front run and you don't quite have the signal there yet, that can be premature and the thing can fall apart before it even starts. We want to make sure that we're not in that sort of situation. And I did disclose that over in the Discord when I made that transaction. I said, it's early on this when you have time to do your due diligence, to do your work and make your own decision on whether or not you jump into a play like this one. I just signal things that I'm doing. I will never tell you when to buy or sell. So for PACB yesterday, we put in a nice little movement yesterday, closing up about 6%, back up above the yellow and the green, the 5 and the 13. Got to break back up above this trend line to really stick with it. If we can, we still have the price target. Oh man, where is it? It's all the way up there. $2.16 per share from where it's at right now, which would be over a 100% gain. I did say that we need to have this 50 EMA here as support. And guys, keep your eyes on this one. I think even though it's not quite there yet, it could get there very soon. Ocugen, looking at this one, does not want to give up. So far, we had some massive indecision yesterday, closing up above those previous closes, deciding more of a bullish look on that. And you can see, once again, we're up in the pre-market hours. This is a beautiful setup so far with some concerns, some considerations along the way for what exactly could happen for us. For Ocugen, OCGN, this one above the 5, above the 13. The 5 is also above the 13. They're above the 50. The RSI is up above 50 as well. On the weekly, up above 50. On the monthly, climbing, but down below 50. So we're starting to maybe put in that time those signs for those longer term trends. The fact that we have a higher low going on right now, maybe we go back up and retest that $1 resistance. If we can sit on top of $1, this thing has a lot more room to the upside, a lot more room to go, where we might even see that $2 price tag come out again after we get this strong move here, especially with the weekly at our backs and the monthly trying to show that we continue to see that momentum build throughout time. So that's Ocugen. Recor, 31% yesterday, nearly 31% close up today in the pre-market hours. Up a little bit more, and after such a massive volume spike, typically you get more. We landed 4 cents shy of my 161. I moved 140 and 122 off to the side because we broke those and we found the 140 as support. 161 we haven't quite hit yet. We did in the pre-market hours. We made it to 161, but not during the regular trading hours. We'll see if we can try that out again today, especially with the market bias at its back, with macro at its back. We could potentially get there. QSI, not bad yesterday, bouncing off of support, closing above the 5. The 5 is above the 13, which is above the 50, and the RSI in bullish territory. Watch for resistance still around 181, support down at 172. We have to sit on top of 181 in order to have further upside on this one. That broadening pattern shows that we have a lot of indecision about how to price this thing. Hopefully, it gets decided with the rest of Quantum at its back, which in the morning, at the pre-market hours this morning, we have the lowest performer, D-Wave Quantum, at 2.38 ish percent as I record this video. IonQ's up a little bit, Rigetti's up a little bit, QSI currently sitting about even with yesterday's close. So for the penny stocks that we have, watch for the rest of quantum to help push this thing up if we can. And honestly, IonQ, I think, still is leading the pack right now, down near support at $38. I think it's around $40 right now in the pre-market hours. And then BBAI up about 2% in the pre-market. So far fell out of this bull channel that it was in. We're down below the 5 and the 13 on this one. And if I put down the candles, there we go. So you can see the 5 is leaning down towards the 13, but the 5 is above the 13, above the 50. This one's not down and out yet. And honestly, I think this is more of a near-term mover. If you go back and you watch my best penny stocks to buy now video, you'll see exactly what I have to say, a much longer analysis on BBAI. So go back and watch that one, check out so you can get the full breakdown for these penny stocks, as this is just an update. And if you want to see more on top of that, more nuanced technicals, more nuanced analysis, talk directly with me, the other panel experts. There's the Discord that we have together that you can join 50% off for the first month for the earner tier. And guys, when you sign up for that, you have a whole team of people there to help support you in that journey towards financial freedom and building alpha in your portfolios, along with educational materials that are over there, live trading with the bread bot that can tell you when the big moves are coming, AI tools, advanced charting tools, and it's just an astounding community to be a part of. I'm even lost for words talking about how grateful I am to be part of such a community. And also down in the description, you'll find a link for how to trade options through an options course, and also how to trade using technical analysis. Using the technical analysis course, code word doctor is going to work on that as well for massive savings. It's a one-time thing for those courses. You pay once and that's it forever. So those courses, bundle them, is going to save you a ton of cash. Code word doctor is going to save you even more. You guys can let me know what you think of this video down in the description. Are we going to continue bullish in the markets, see new all-time highs? What do you think about these penny stocks? What about those other penny stocks? I'm writing down a list for ones that people are naming. I'm going to go through, check them out, and see if there's any others that I should be covering as well in these videos. Guys, don't forget about those links. Support this channel. Let me support you in this journey towards financial freedom and also building that alpha in your portfolio. Thanks for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.